Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. If you're new here, this is my rat rod roadster project that I'm working on. In our last video, we ran into some disappointments. I ran out of acetylene, and also I shortened a drive shaft that didn't really turn out well, but we learned something and we're gonna move forward. I was able to get a tank of acetylene last week, so now we're gonna move on with getting the front axle straightened out and the brakes installed on the front end of this car. So if you can see here, I've put these two pieces of threaded rod onto this axle, and if you can tell, they kind of lean in towards each other, which means my camber is off like this. When I did the drop axle, it kind of leaned it in a little bit. And then also if I go over here, you can see how misaligned they are. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna heat this section back up with the oxyacetylene torch. And I'm just gonna use the pipe wrench to kind of just bend it back so that these are aligned. And then likewise, I'll have to, bend it so that way I can correct the camber. And I'm just trying to get it close. As you could imagine, these cars probably weren't that perfect from the factory, but as long as I can get the measurement between these 2 points the same, and then also if I could physically see that these two are aligned, I'll be happy. So I'm gonna get right on that. I'll set you guys up in the tripod, and I'm just gonna go ahead and heat this up and straighten it out. So as you saw, I flipped it around and went to check the other side after straightening out that side. And it's like dead on. I'm pretty happy with that alignment. And then I also put my tape on here, and I'm just gonna burn 2 inches to check the camber. And it looks like there's about a 1/4 of an inch difference between here and all the way to the top. So I'm happy with that. It matches the other side. So now both sides match. And we can move forward with installing the brakes. So I'm just gonna let this cool down for a little bit longer. And I'm probably gonna do some cleanup, and then we'll start working on the brakes. I'll probably throw the axle back in and we'll go from there. Okay, so now I've got the axle back installed on the car, and I need to get my spindles prepped for my new kingpins. And I've gone with the Speedway Motors upgraded kingpin set. And basically I need to remove the bushings, and I also need to take them off of this steering linkage arm off. But the other issue that I have is because I did the drop axle, this steering arm now interferes with the axle. So I'm gonna cut that off, and I'll probably just spend some time grinding this on the bench grinder and just making it nice and smooth. And I'll do that for both of the spindles. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that, clean these things up nice, and get them ready so I can install the new kingpins. So after I got my steering arms cut off here, I went ahead and rounded these ends off, and then I also pressed out the old bushings. So now we're ready to install the upgraded kingpins, and I have the instructions here, and I'm just gonna spend some time reading through these and setting these up. And my friend Mason is here.
What's going on?
Helping me, and we're just gonna try to get these spindles installed. So. So it's a few days later, and I got both of my spindles installed, and man, you know, this was the first time I've done this, and it was a job. Needle bearings aren't fun, I'll just leave it at that. Now that the spindles are installed, I'm gonna go ahead and grease them up. And if you can see the grease ports, there's one here for the upper bearing and then one down here for the lower bearing. So I just gotta grease those up. And then I got some Scotch-Brite. I'm gonna clean up the spindles, and then I'll be able to start mounting the brackets and get the brakes installed. So I spent some time reading the instructions, and basically it tells me that I need to press the bearings onto the spindle, but looks like I'm not getting those off to put them in a press. So the other option it tells me is I can heat them to 400 degrees for 20 minutes and then they'll slide right on. So this is the bearing that I need to press on. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I didn't want to have to heat the oven up, and the oven's all the way in the house. So I brought the air fryer out, and I'm just gonna throw those in there. And it's already set to 400, and I'll do 25 minutes. And I'll just come back when those ding. I finished up the driver's side brakes. I just need to get some brake pads, and that's it. But for now, that's done, and I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the passenger side. So the Roadster Rat Rod officially has front brakes, and I'm quite happy with these. They're very high quality and they're nice. I'm probably gonna have to make some major changes to the suspension in order so that the wheels can turn, because I'm noticing some things now that the brakes are on that are very, I'm noticing some interference issues. So there are some changes I'm gonna have to make. We'll see that in a later video, but thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, follow me on Instagram, link down in the subscription for my Instagram account, and you can see there behind the scenes videos and reels and all that stuff that Instagram does. So thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.